live stream, we're going to talk about guitar and improvisation and give some updates on some things that are going on. So this past week I've been focusing a lot on Christmas time is here, and the intention behind that is to get folks ready with some maybe Christmas tunes if interested before it actually happens, right? So Christmas time is here, I guess, in a sense, but not Christmas Day. So we all have to practice a good bit, right, to get some things together. So I wanted to get that out a couple of weeks before. Amos, welcome. Thanks for joining. So put out a short over the weekend here, yesterday, on some chord scales to consider on this tune. And one kind of cool feature of music, I think, is that when it comes to working on harmony, you know, let's say you're working on the F chord on this and just trying to get inside that sound and play the scale. Well, there are countless other tunes that you're going to use the same scale, the same chord, songs that are generally played in the key of F, right? So anything that you practice on a given tune is going to help you out with so many other tunes. So I think that's kind of a fun and cool feature. If there's anything that I end up playing that you're interested in, let me know and I will kind of go back to it. This, for example, is an F13 with a major 7. Good morning, Jeffrey. How's it going? All right. Grabbing the coffee. I'm gonna grab some tea. Grab some tea or coffee. I already had my coffee. Have a little tea here. Get guitar tuned. Awesome. Has anybody tried out the Christmas Time is Here chord melody? So we've got that. I'm planning to possibly put together a video on chord scales for that. So on this flat 7 chord, E flat 9, right? What can we put on an E flat 9, E flat 9, sharp 11? Let me get into some basics of chord, how chords are spelled. So if you have an E flat, that's referring to the root note. The 9 means that there's a major third, a flat 7, and then you have the 9 as well. So the naming conventions, there's really kind of a lot of information in just a couple of symbols, a couple of digits. So we have sharp 11. So the B flat melodic minor is a good place to focus your attention on. So this could be a mode of that scale. So you can think of scales in terms of parent scales, and then modes, chord scales, as sort of specifics within those. So if we play the 4th mode of B flat melodic minor, we get a root 9, 3, sharp 11, 5, 13, flat 7, So that's a very helpful scale for that. In the short that I put out just yesterday, I talked a little bit about adding in a chromatic passing tone in between the 5th and the 6th of the F major 7 on Ionian, and in between the flat 7 and the root of the Lydian dominant, right? So there are a few things that are really kind of interesting about doing that. One is that if you're playing consistent eighth notes over time, then you have an even number, right? So, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So if we just take the grid of common time, you have eight eighth notes within that. So it can be helpful, and remember, this is just one tool in the toolbox, or one way of speaking in your language of improvisation. But we can play chord tones on strong beats and non-chord tones on weak beats in that way, right? So if we count this out, we'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now you might say, well, aren't the chord tones root, 3rd, 5, and major 7? Yeah, that is true. So maybe how I should reframe this is, we're going to play consonances on the strong beats and dissonances, or tones that feel like they're leading towards another tone, on the weak beats. Because the major 7 is really actually pretty dissonant. It's a pretty sound, but in a melodic way, it's going to tend to want to go up to the root note. The major 6 is a fairly consonant interval, right? So that's how we may try to conceive of it. So we have root 9, 3, 4, 5, sharp 5, 6, major 7, right? And if I count the beats, that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? So it's a great way to practice. So aside from that, you have, like what we just said, which is the consonances on the strong beats, the dissonances on the weak beats. Another thing is that it can help to train you to connect your lines in half steps and whole steps, right? So that you can string a line like that together and sort of connected. So those are some elements to kind of consider there. All right, well, let me take a moment to remind folks to like and subscribe if you haven't already. So like, subscribe, and if you're rewatching this, leave a comment. So it really does help out the channel, all the interactions and questions. And if you're checking this out, say a quick hello. Tell me what some of the challenges are you're playing. Okay, so tonic major and even tonic minor it's common to connect the fifth to the sixth in dominant sevenths or just sevenths, any chord with a flat seven, a major third. It's common to connect the flat seven to the root. So that's why we might play something like this, and then we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So in that sense, the chord tones do connect on the strong beats. All right. Okay, everybody. So yeah, try this along with me. Amos says his guitar is all tuned up. So glad you're all joining us. Eric, good to see you again. Try not to miss this. Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have a regular live stream on Sunday mornings. So join me, pick up your guitar, perhaps a warm beverage, although my tea's gone cold here. A couple things I'm working on, just putting together rhythm section for Dolphin Dance, and I think it's coming together pretty nicely. Found a transcription of the bass line, I believe Ron Carter, and so I recorded that on electric bass, and I think it's turning out pretty well. This morning I spent a little bit of time transcribing the rhythm of the comping. So I just kind of sketched that out on a lead sheet for the tune, and then recorded it through this MIDI hexaphonic pickup system. And then I have to go in and edit it. So I did a little bit of that, and it's turning out pretty nicely. And I've got drums programmed in there as well. So my goal here is to have that out by Friday. So we'll see how that goes up. I've got a pretty good start to it. All right, well, I'm going to do maybe a little bit of noodling here, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Let me know what you've been working on here. I'm going to mute my microphone, but I'll keep my eye on the chats. All right, noodling around there a little bit with Autumn Leaves. Amos, every Christmas season, I work on the Eagles. Please come home for Christmas. Nice. That's a really nice tune. Nice recording, absolutely. The major, Eric says the major 7 with the 6 or 13 is nice. Don't use that often. Feels mysterious, even though it's right out of the expected harmony. Yeah, absolutely. Edgard, welcome. Edgard says he's new. I'm from Fort Myers, and I would like to learn. Awesome. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining in. Great to see someone new tuning in. Much appreciated. We'll talk a little bit more about the what you might call a major 13. So it is mysterious, isn't it? It's a mysterious sounding chord. When you find something like this, so I'm in 5th position here, you might work with playing it, here maybe a few practice ideas. Figures and more, welcome. I'll mention, if you don't see the chat that I'm referring to, it may be that it's from a different stream. So I'm streaming horizontally on YouTube as well as vertically. Okay, and also streaming on Facebook and X too. Although I'm not sure if that is working on X. Don't see anything. But anyway, back to our talk. Okay, so take something like this and play it on different string sets, especially the middle 4, like I'm doing here, and the top 4. So you might, come up here and play it on the first 4 strings, and then maybe play an octave lower. This kind of works pretty nicely because you get the open string, right? So those are a few things to maybe try when you're playing. Now, if we get up here, it's a little awkward to hold this, but worth exploring it and kind of knowing it. But when we get down to the strings for the lower register, then we might try to spread out the voicing a bit more, right? So what are some things we could revoice? This voicing sounds pretty kind of cool too. Let's see if I can get this. Now we have a 9 in here, so we have root, major 7, 9, 3, and the 13. So that's kind of a cool one as well. Okay, let's see. I do know some Nirvana tunes. I don't know any Slipknot tunes at all, fortunately, but not necessarily playing tunes. We're talking about improvisation, chord types, and stuff like that. But thanks for dropping in. Let's see. The top 2 voices are dissonant. Yeah. So kind of a cool feature, of this voicing is, you get a whole step in the voicing. So oftentimes guitar voicings tend to be major thirds and fourths, and a lot of that has to do with just because that's the tuning of the guitar, right? So fourth all the way through there, major third, and another fourth. So it makes sense string to string to use fourths and thirds, but we can get some more pianistic kind of dissonances by especially taking advantage of the distances between strings 3 and 2, right? Because it's a smaller interval, we don't have to reach as far, right? So for this, between strings 2 and 3, we're just kind of 2 frets away to play these same 2 notes down here, right? We have to go 3 frets away, right? So that's a kind of an advantage that we can work with there. Okay, so Christmas time is here. I hope folks are getting a chance to work with that if you're interested in those tunes. I'll mention that I do have quite a few more Christmas tunes, and I have a playlist out which I put up on my YouTube page. The playlist is kind of up towards the top now, so check that out. I've got quite a few recordings. I try to do one per year. I think last year I may have done the Ted Green arrangement for a tune. So check that out. And this week I intend to talk a little bit about the chord scales on Christmas Time is Here. That's kind of the plan. Eric says he's working on it. Great. Okay, keeping up with the pace. So I'll mention too that when I work on these things or arranging them, I really go through very slowly, the chord melody, and I work on a couple little moments that I think might be challenging, and so I would recommend doing that. And that's one thing that watching people play live or play music video or something, is that the behind the scenes aspect of that is something that we of course don't really see generally, although we're seeing more and more of that nowadays. But so it's perfectly natural to play it at a slower pace. And on YouTube, you can actually slow it down. If you go to the gear icon, you can slow down the pace of it. Hopefully, at this point, that's available on all devices. But I know it was kind of exclusively available on the desktop for a while. So yeah, that's it. So. Eric's still doing Days of Wine and Roses. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Okay. Yeah, slow breakdown is crucial. And yeah, so in that video, I go through a few measures at a time. So be sure to work with that little by little. All right, yeah, so I'll do a little more playing here. Okay, let's take up. Just kind of occurred to me. This is kind of an interesting chord to maybe try out for folks. Let's say we have a D minor 9. What if we want to play, get something a little pianistic like we talked about earlier? It's kind of an interesting sound. Is a little bit of a reach, a little bit of a challenge for sure, but let's check this out. So we have the D here on string 6, fret 10, finger 4 on string 4, fret 10, finger 2 on string 3, fret 9, and finger 1 on string 2, fret 6. So we can use that, play that as a D minor 9. So pretty cool. Arif, thanks for joining us. The name of that was Stella by Starlight, and just kind of playing a little bit with the chord progression there. Stella by Starlight, a real classic tune. Beautiful chord progression. Just the ideas can really flow on that. I'm not quite sure why X is not looking like it's working, but but anyway, I've been streaming a little bit on X. I've been following a few guitarists and on that platform as well. So I'm trying to do a little more on some various platforms, but YouTube is kind of the main area. Also mentioned that I'm working a bit on the website, and plan to have some offerings there. So check that out. That's fretprince.com. Mention, please do like and subscribe to the channel. And let's see. Yes, if you are looking to get better faster at the guitar and jazz, please contact me about private one-on-one lessons. It's really incredibly helpful for folks to share what they're doing and get some feedback on that, and really can help to accelerate your playing. So check that out. I should have a link in the description here, and it's a pretty quick, easy sign up. So Arif said, got it. It's in the real book. It is in the real book. Yep. Stella by Starlight. Great tune. Lots of 2/5s. So and a lot of variety in the 2/5s as well. Right. So you get kind of the half diminished type chord. So opportunities to kind of work with that as well as other types of 2/5s. All right, let's see. Eric says, wow, that D minor 9. Playing the Les Paul with the big neck. Yeah, that's probably going to make it a little bit tough, but yeah, probably worth it. Yeah, how good your guitar is set up. Absolutely. That's true. That's true. Eric loves the Tony Bennett recording, or maybe there's more than one, of Stella. So yeah, that's going to be amazing. Oh, little help on that that chord. Now, if you're playing, with a backing track or something, or playing with an actual bass player, or all that, drop your roots out and play just the 3-note voicing. The middle, or strings 2, 3, and 4 are just a great place to really focus your attention on voicings, right? So this is one that might be easier to play, and it may be all you need, depending on what you're doing, what you're after. So then it kind of frees up a finger, and typically it's not too hard to stretch between finger 1 and finger 2, right? Okay, awesome. So do a little more playing. I like to figure out what's going on with X, but at this point may not be worth it to pursue. But all right, do a little more kind of noodling around here. I'm going to mute my microphone. Have a sip of tea. Check out the store, the merch store, which has just opened up a few months ago. I've got my podcast mug. This is a little bit different design. This is kind of my prototype design. But check that out. Good way to support the channel and support this content. Just wrote out chord scales for Christmas time is here, and I released that in a PDF form that's also on the merch store. All right, do a little play in here, muting my microphone. So here's another kind of cool minor chord that you might try to work in, which is maybe even, well, it's definitely kind of mysterious sounding. If we could play a minor major 9. So that's pretty cool as well. So go through those notes here. So I've got finger 3, string 6, fret 8. Finger 4, string 4, fret 9. Finger 2, string 3, fret 7. And finger 1, string 2, fret 4. So that's another kind of nice voicing to try out. So hopefully you come away on this live stream with a couple voicings. And again, that tip of taking a chord, playing it rootless. And you can always take the right hand if you want to just hear that bass note. Take the right hand and bring it over and play it there. Okay. Just tuned top drop D to hear the rootless chord, the bass note. Very nice. Very nice. What is it? Mondel Low, I believe, or I can't quite remember, but played drop D, I think, almost all the time. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But drop D is really, really pretty cool and useful tuning, absolutely, for doing various things. It kind of extends the range, just enough to get some lower, deeper sounds. You think about how high the lowest D is. It's actually pretty high up there. I mean, guitar does play quite low tones in general, but that D and that E flat, both, sometimes you kind of wish there was just something a little lower on that. That's where 7-string guitar can come in helpful, and also the drop D type tunings and things like that. So, okay, well, I'm going to spend about 5 more minutes on here. So let me know if you have any last minute questions. Thanks so much. Good to see some familiar folks here, and good to see some new folks too. So do hope you enjoyed this talk. And if you're new here, do subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll be back on Wednesday morning, if all goes well, at 10:30. Oh, another thing I wanted to ask, and if you rewatch this, please leave a comment. But for now, please write into the chat if you're available. What times are best? I was doing a little research on this morning, but I'm planning to do some more live streaming on my own platform, my own website, fretprince.com, and I'm curious to know, the one issue with live is then, folks probably want to watch it on the spot, but on demand, I'm sure is good too. But I'm curious to know, is it mornings, evenings? I was talking with ChatGPT about this morning, but I'm curious to know what some real people, real humans, think about it. I was even thinking 9 p.m. I don't know if that would be too late or not, but all right. Amos says, "Thank you as always. You are most welcome. So glad to see you here." And yeah, but take some of these things and play them with the backing tracks and things, so that you can get a sense for how they all come together and work. All right, well, I'm going to do a little more noodling around, but I'm going to hang out for another maybe about 5 minutes, and then head out from there. I mentioned I'm streaming on a few different platforms here: x.com, Facebook, and YouTube, of course. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining me. Hope you all have a really great practice session. And join me again this Wednesday at 10:30 a.m.